I don't know if I can play it, Regin, because I don't know if you will get a flag. And I don't want to get a flag, right? Just waiting for all my viewers to come back and meet me on Facebook. So, I don't want to get a flag, Regin. Anytime Facebook tell me that the song, I can't play the song, I am going to take it off. Okay? I'm just letting you know. But I want to say happy anniversary to you both. I know that you are ardent listeners also to the Street 919 FM. Alright? So let me say happy wedding anniversary to you both. Is that rain outside? Is that wind outside I'm hearing? I don't know. I'm hearing like we having some bad weather out there. Is it so? Anybody want to call in and tell me that? Yes. Breeze blowing very heavy outside. You know, this morning was very beautiful. You know, they say there is the calm before the storm. All right. So yes, I want to again say thank you very much to all of you again. Again, I really appreciate the fact that you all come on every day, show me the love. There are those of you who are very unhappy with the things that I am showing and playing, but what can I say? Just how life goes. Sometimes you will always hit the right mark. I don't know, I'm just hearing a heavy breeze outside. I wonder. Yes, so those of you joining me back on the live, thank you very much. So let me show you the video. I'm trying to find the song that my friend wanted me to play for his wife. Once I find it, sir, I will try my endeavor best to play it for you. So in Port of Spain, I have to tell you that in Port of Spain right now, the weather has changed. It is terrible. Outside looks very dark. All right, very, very dark. So if you are endeavoring to go outside, if you're going outside, you need to, you know what I mean, take your umbrella with you. Don't wear slippers or sandals. Wear something that your foot will not get wet. Right, so let's go back to these videos that I have lined up here. So before we went for the news, I showed you a video where Mr. Ansel Roger is threatening to Ansel Roger is threatening to march from San Fernando to Port of Spain. The march from San Fernando to Port of Spain, I believe, is on this Sunday. They are threatening to march from San Fernando to Port of Spain this Sunday. All right. So I am just, letting you all know that just be aware also that they are threatening to march this Sunday, I believe it is. So it's something I want to bring to your awareness. All right. So as I said just now, I have some videos that I want to show you. Get these videos up and running for you so that you can tell me what are your thoughts. Right? Tell me what are your thoughts. So this is another video that I want to show you. All right? Another video I wanted to show you today. So look at the videos and tell me what are your thoughts. Right? Look at this video. So I'm bringing you up to date on what happened from Friday. Okay? So from Friday, I wanted to show you what took place in Trinidad and Tobago. So Mr. Ansel Roger met with the opposition leader outside of the parliament on Friday. All right? On Friday, Ansel Roger would have met with the opposition leader. And this is what took place. I want to show you what took place outside of the parliament on Friday. All right? Then, take a look at this and you tell me what you think.
Has to borrow money to pay its workers, then that's what it should do. This from the opposition leader, as today trade unions delivered a vote of no confidence in the government to the opposition outside the parliament. The scene outside the parliament on Friday.
Representatives go, no, sir. It's at disposition.
And there was a significant police presence as trade union members came out to send a strong message to the government.
On behalf of the many thousands of workers who voted in support of this motion of no confidence, it was decided that we are going to deliver a copy of this motion to your good self, Leader of the Opposition.
A motion of no confidence in the government led by Prime Minister Rowley.
We just delivered a copy of this to Her Excellency, the President of the Republic. We are also going to deliver a copy of that motion to the Chief Secretary of the big House of Assembly, one to the Speaker, despite we know where she stands, and also the President of the Senate.
That vote of no confidence happened last Sunday, Labor Day, as government workers still aren't happy with the initial offers by the Chief Personnel Officer in wage negotiations with unions.
You're borrowing for everything else. And I say today, if you have to borrow the money to pay the workers, borrow the money and pay the workers. Pay the workers.
Opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisasa making a plea on behalf of workers.
The Prime Minister's poor excuse of why he cannot pay is because he has to borrow. Now, if you had paid the people their money in time, you would have had no back pay to pay now. But you waited for 7 years and now crying like a baby.
I hope you all are listening. I hope you all are watching. And I hope that you all are taking note. So, Mr. Ansel Roger is saying to us that he is now friends again with Ms. Bisesa. All right? But I have a question to all the persons who were there with Mr. Ansel Roger. I have a question for Mr. Roger. And I have a question for the followers of Ansel Roger. You all remember this? How many of you all remember this? I want you all to come on the live, Let me see what's happening on the live. So I need you all to come on the live. There's too little bit of people to come on the live, man. I do too much research. I have a case to present to you all today. So I need you all to come on the live to see what I have to present to you all today. I want you all to listen to this. This is the song that my friend wanted to dedicate to his wife.
If there's a question of my heart, you got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. Hey, if that's a question of my love. So
while I'm playing this song for my good friend and his wife,
baby, don't worry.
I'm giving you all a chance to come on the live. The Street 919 FM. Come and listen to this video that I have for you guys.
Oh, love. Baby, I've been making plans for you. Yeah, baby, I've been making plans. Baby, I've been making plans for myself.
So this is the video I want to show you guys. So Brother Dicey's song, I can't play it too much because I don't want to get flagged. Right? So the guy is saying to his wife, if there's a question, I find that song so. If there's a question, sir, or ma'am, there's no question. But I want to play you the video now of. I want to show you this video now of Mr. Ansel Roger. Do you remember this video? This man went. Anyway, let me hush my mouth. All I will say is that this is the man that went to meet with Miss Bisesa to deliver a letter. I hope you all listen to what he said to her and what she said to him. Listen to this. Something wrong with us, you know. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
What we thought would have been an announcement to say that we would have met the requirement was the opposite.
A concerned OWTU President Ansel Roger explaining to the media on Sunday morning that Patriotic's bid for the refinery is not over. He says when Patriotic met with the ministerial team on October 21st, they put forward 2 suggestions to overcome any challenges that were being met, but those were rejected. Following this, Mr. Roger notes that Patriotic returned with a new proposal to break the deadlock, which was submitted on Thursday, which he believes met all the requirements and had the backing of a top international bank for restarting the refinery.
It was a very complex document that we would have submitted to them, and we verily believe that they would not have gone through that properly. This is why we are saying that give us an opportunity. This is why in the submission of that, we would have requested to meet with them to go through it. We did not get that opportunity.
Mr. Roger now wants an independent cabinet committee to properly examine whether Patriotic would have met the requirements.
Our latest proposal to go before this independent cabinet-appointed committee so that they can scrutinize thoroughly all of the areas and determine if we had come up short or if indeed we had met all of the requirements.
And even though the deadline of October 31st has passed, Mr. Roger says Thursday's proposal was not Patriotic's final one and is concerned that government is now looking at other bidders.
We are concerned, but at the same time, our request this morning is for the government, in the interest of the country, Trinidad and Tobago, to stay their hands, but at the same time, give an opportunity for this proposal, this latest proposal.
The OWTU president believes this country would benefit if the refinery is kept in local hands and wants the government to meet with Patriotic to discuss the latest proposal in detail. Sonolala, TTT News.
All right, so the OWTU would have put in their bid.
A top focus at this hour.
For the refinery. I just building a case, you know. The OWTU would have put in a bid for the refinery. You all remember what happened after that? Huh? The UNC, I'm just saying, because I'm going to play you it. The UNC, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, would have what? Sign or put in an injunction to stop the OWTU from bidding or getting the refinery. You all remember that? How many of you remember that? Some of you forget. Some of you don't want to remember. Some of you just playing games. But let me play it for you then.
You members of the media here in San Fernando, let me welcome you to our press conference, press briefing and updates and clarification meeting. But first, before I go any further, let me take the opportunity to wish all my brothers and sisters, all members of the Hindu community, Shub Diwali. Let me also thank the national community, the hundreds of thousands of people who would have supported our company, Patriotic, throughout this entire acquisition process. We thank them for their love and outpouring of support, overwhelming support throughout the process. And I'm also minded to say that they felt the pain some 2 weeks ago when Patriotic was taken out of the process. When we were somewhat cancelled, and therefore with the outpouring of love and prayers and support for all the good reasons in the world, God answered our prayers, and we are back on track to do one of the greatest undertakings ever done by a trade union or any local entity in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. And for that, we wish to thank them wholeheartedly. I want to say this afternoon that we would have preferred to not be detained for this short while that we are detained this afternoon, to have to come to the national community through you, the medium of the media, to clarify certain points or to bring particular updates or to denounce certain statements made. But because of the mission that we are on, because of our reputation as a trade union and as a company owned by our trade union, we felt it absolutely necessary to put on public record clarifications and corrections to some of the most damning and misleading statements that was made earlier this week. And therefore, it begs the question for yet another occasion to us, that is, why are we in this process? Why is OWTU expending tens of millions of hard-earned dollars to acquire an asset? Why in spite of all of the challenges and stumbling blocks, big, small, and medium size, why does we continue to persevere to bring conclusion to this long and complex process in spite of all of the challenges? Why? I'll tell you why this afternoon. Let me crave your indulgence for just a bit so that we can understand the OWTU's perspective around this issue. It is not just to put workers back to work. That will be as a consequence of what we want to do. Workers will be actively employed. Some 4,500 workers from inception in the construction and in the refurbishment stage. So that's immediately on the close of this process. It is not just permanent jobs, sustained jobs that would continue after the refinery and the port is up and functioning. It is not just for the terms and conditions of employees to ensure that workers are treated fairly. That too is important, and that too will happen. But it is more than that. It is more than just OWTU and the immediate workers and who will work at the refinery. It is about Trinidad and Tobago. It is about the 45,000 plus persons in the southern districts of our country that are today impacted because of the closure of these facilities. It is the citizens throughout Trinidad and Tobago who, for many different reasons, all good, give their overwhelming support to us. It is for the mission that was started by the OWTU back in the 1930s and the sustained campaign for our country to gain the commanding heights of our country, its economy, to be in control of our own assets, our own resources, to own it, and to own it not in any superficial way, but for the ordinary man in the street, the sick and the unborn, the born and the unborn, for future generation, for the people of Trinidad and Tobago to benefit. And it is also connecting with the valued input that went into those assets for a number of years since its inception. And so when you see us step up to the plate and put in a bid for those assets, it goes much deeper than just the bid. And therefore, we will ensure that we have a viable, successful, profitable, well-run entity conducting its business in the most business-like way, ensuring that those assets produce for the country. That will happen. But may I remind all that the blood, sweat, and tears that were poured into those assets from inception by our founding fathers, the retirees who today, most of them would have passed on, pressures and so on, in the refinery, our blood, our lifeline, our navel string is buried in that refinery in Point Clear in a sort of a conniving way to supplant in the mind of the public that something is amiss with what the refinery. And I thought that we would bring that back this afternoon as we put on the table, as we put before the national community, our conviction, our deep and abiding conviction to see this process throughout till the very end so that the country will benefit. That's our only mission, to ensure that every man and woman and child, born and unborn, will benefit in a real material way from these assets. And therefore, we feel compelled on any occasion or every occasion when someone take their time to attempt to cause great injury to the process that would lead to the completion of this acquisition of those assets, when someone who should know better take their time to place in the public domain, raise issues in a sort of a conniving way to supplant in the mind of the public that something is amiss with what the OWTU is doing. May I also remind all this afternoon that it was our third President General of this great noble union, the Office Workers Trade Union, Comrade George Weeks, that carried and led a campaign for the nationalization of the oil industry. Some of you will remember it would have peaked in 1979 when we raised issues of how the multinational Texaco at that time was running the refinery and the port and all of those assets. And the union at that time, led by its President General Comrade Weeks, they were making the point for all of Trinidad and Tobago to hear that all of the profits, all of the resources of our land was repatriated to the country of origin of the multinational. And the crumbs, the very crumbs, was what was left for Trinidad and Tobago. And even more than that, as they prepare to depart, Texaco that was at that time, as they prepare to depart our country, they were running down those assets. Those are facts. It's a matter of public records. You just have to check it. My point to you this afternoon is that from time in the inception to now, the OWTU would have been involved in a sustained campaign to protect and to advance the interests of the oil industry, not for OWTU's sake alone, far from that, for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. And for us, it's not just an OWTA thing. We may be those who are championing it, charged with that responsibility at this time because of where we were and where we are positioned in the economy. But for us, it is a Trinidad and Tobago thing. And I dare say, it is a patriotic thing of us, the Peace Workers Trade Union. And so when we heard and we were made aware of those utterances, we were taken aback. Let me say again from the onset that I have no problem, absolutely no problem or difficulty with anybody requesting information because they are entitled to that. More than that, I have absolutely no problem with the leader of the opposition requesting on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, indeed on behalf of our party, in her role as honorable leader of opposition. I have absolutely no problem with her requesting information or even dispensing information. But my one concern and my one call here is that as you dispense information, ensure that that information is accurate. Otherwise, it will be an act of irresponsibility to do that. And therefore, I want to again point out that it is not outside of the custom of the leader of the opposition to inquire from the OWTU and the trade union movement about issues or concerns that we would have on national issues. And so, as recent as her preparation for the response or contribution to the national budget, she would have written to different stakeholders, the OWTU also, asking for concerns and information as it pertains to the budget. So do you have any concern? Do you have any queries or anything that you feel that the opposition can raise? And that has been a custom not just with her, but with all of the opposition, especially the UNC. I could go back to Comrade Pandey. And so I dare say that that is a correct position to take. But I'm saying this afternoon, in such a sensitive acquisition process, knowing that you can request information if you are not clear, if you do not understand, or if something lands in your mailbox and you do not have the clarity, or before you go public, the same approach could have been taken to ask the OWTU, what are these things about? This thing landed in my mailbox.
Alright then, Father got you among my friends, please. Because we don't know all the enemies. I the one that will stand right beside you. And wanna soak you like them a lead. So me ask God to protect me head in the streets at night. And all of me enemies, yes, Father God, please shine them a light. Oh, Father God, yeah. So guide me from the bad mind people. The ones them way I promise even.
National Congress, Kamala Persad-Bissassa is accusing the government of deceiving the country with respect to the sale of the assets of the Point-A-Pay refinery to Patriotic Energies and Technologies Company Limited, a company owned by the Oilfield Workers Trade Union. Shirley Lewis has more.
Political leader of the UNC, Kamala Persad-Bissassa, claims the sale to Patriotic Energies, the only local bidder, was only an election gimmick. She also accused the government of mismanaging the country's oil and gas industry to the point that it's lost its competitive edge.
To the refinery to Patriotic OWTU, days before the election, days before, they're going to sell it, they're selling it. We had no problem for locals to own the refinery. When they made this statement, we had no problems with that. We said, okay, but there are questions of transparency and accountability.
And she accused the Dr. Keith Rowley-led administration of deception.
You study that in 48 hours and said, no. No to patriotic, no to OWTU. And now Mr. Roger, I wonder whose mannequin he'll be traipsing up and down Trinidad and Tobago with now. At least my mannequin was a very good looking one, so that's okay. I wonder which one he will now traipse up and down the country. So they have deceived Petrotrin, deceived the workers.
You all are listening to this? I hope you all are listening, you know. I really, really hope that you all are listening to this.
Workers deceived the union and deceived the country at large.
On Saturday, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Franklin Kahn said the deal with Patriotic could not be reached. However, in a statement on Monday, the Energy Minister said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley had instructed the evaluation committee appointed by Cabinet to re-evaluate the request for proposals for the use of the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery to examine the latest position of the negotiating parties as they stood at the deadline of October 31st, 2020. The review and clarification is to be completed and submitted to Cabinet by November 30th, 2020. Shirley Lewis, TTT News.
The leader for the movement of social justice, David Abdullah, believes the real issue for the sale of the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery lies with Trinidad Petroleum Holdings Limited, TPHL, and not Patriotic Energies. This, he says, all started when Patriotic was first alerted in July this year that TPHL had difficulty in getting over some financial issues. Sunalala followed the virtual MSG meeting held on Monday evening and has this report.
A short clip from an old Black Stallion song that Movement for Social Justice leader David Abdullah said depicts the entire saga and battle for saving the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery. He recalled a statement by Oilfields Workers Trade Union President Ansel Rocher on Sunday, where he said Trinidad Petroleum Holdings Limited, TPHL, confirmed in August that it had major challenges with their internal financing. This, Mr. Abdullah said, shifted the goalpost completely for Patriotic, since even in the lead-up to the August 10th general election, the Prime Minister stated his intention to sign off on the refinery deal. However, Mr. Abdullah noted a new issue arose, which he said is why the purchase price and restart financing became an issue with Patriotic, despite settling the issue a year earlier.
The people who were lending money to Trinidad Petroleum Holdings were aware that the government was engaged in a sale or lease arrangement. But it would not have resulted in any agreement unless these people who lend money agreed, because it is their collateral.
Mr. Abdullah said if this collateral was not secure, then repayment needed to be paid upfront, similar to selling one's vehicle before repaying all debts.
And if they had no collateral because the thing was going to be sold, they want to get back the money. If they don't get back the money and the thing is sold, then how are they going to recover the money? There's no guarantor. And that is what I believe was the fly in the ointment.
Due to this, the MSJ leader said government's promise to Patriotic of a 3-year moratorium on the US $700 million purchase price and interest and a further 10 years to pay could no longer happen. Sonolala, TTT News.
The Energy Chamber of Trinidad and
your belly. I don't understand why you can't keep it real with the black man. Keep it real. The lion the fake and you can't trust none of them. Let me tell you about that you friendly me, that you friendly me, that you friendly me, that you friendly me. Quick to tell you out, nobody nasty like them. Let me tell you about that you friendly me, that you friendly me, that you friendly me, that you friendly me. They pretend to build you up, that's right. Chance to pull you down, they will set you up, that's right. For you to lose your ground. If you fool me once, then shame on you, shame on you. And if you fool me again, then shame on me. And then we don't rock with them. Go away.
In hand is the
first of 4 letters delivered by the trade unions on Friday. This one went to President Paul Week's office. The letter expresses the joint trade unions' lack of confidence in Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and his administration.
If there's one thing that we are going to expose, it is the wickedness and vindictiveness and the lack of proper governance coming from this government headed by its incompetent Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley.
It's the union making good on its promise from Labor Day. 3 other letters were delivered at the Red House. One addressed to the Speaker of the House and one to the President of the Senate. The last letter was given to the opposition leader, who left a sitting of Parliament to receive it personally. It's a message she agrees with. She was then handed a letter of the union's motion of no confidence against Rowley.
The opposition will continue, as I said before, to press for bread, peace and justice. We will take all legal steps that we can to have this corrupt, incompetent government removed from office once and for all.
The JTAM president says letters will also be sent to the Tobago Chief Secretary and the head of CARICOM. Rashad Khan, CNC3 News.
To build you up, that's right. Just to pull you down, they will set you up, that's right. For you to lose your crown. If you fool me once, then shame on you, shame on you. And if you fool me again, then shame on me. And then we don't rock with them. Go away, rock so, rock away. Better rock so, rock so, rock so. Go away, rock so, rock away, rock away. Rock so, rock away, better rock so, rock so, rock so, go away, rock so, rock away. Bang your belly. I don't understand why you can't keep it real with the black man. Keep it real.
So I'm back with you, Trinidad and Tobago. So the opposition leader wanted to file an injunction. The same opposition leader who says she's fighting for the labor and for union and for all of what the above would have fought for the file an injunction against Antilogia and they getting the refinery. She wanted to know how they could get the refinery. But this same Antilogia would have met with Miss Bisessa outside the Parliament building on Friday. I don't know, something definitely is wrong that I don't know if anybody could tell me what is going on or what they understand to be happening in Trinidad and Tobago, then clearly I'm willing to listen. So tell me, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I'm just going to show you what's happening outside. I went up on the roof a while ago to see what is going on outside. I heard heavy winds and this is what I came back with. This is how outside is looking right now in Uptown Port of Spain. On the roof, I went on the roof of our building and this is what it looked like. So if you are on the live, you would see, I tried to do a live recording for you to see what is happening outside of Trinidad, outside on the roof on Maraval Road. So this is what the weather is looking like in Uptown Port of Spain on the roof on 919 FM. This is what it looks like. All right, so I went up on the roof in all the rain to take a video to show you what is how Maraval Road is looking. All right, so that is what's happening right now on Maraval Road. All right, that's how it's looking. I hope that you would take the time to, walk with your umbrella and please drive safe. So let me go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, the callers and listeners on 91.9 and Constructive too. Sparrow, Calypso, Jean and Dinah. the characters in that. I think they don't want nothing with them fellas and them who was standing outside with the opposition leader. They could get them for less than nothing. It's not the first time that Mr. Roger has been embarrassed and humiliated by Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and he has gone back. It's like a dog eating up the vomit, because she would have, when they would have planned a big march back in 2000, I think 12 or 13 there, when we were refusing the 5%. Should have told them, go back to the table and start at zero again, because they were refusing that. And then they planned the big march. And while she was standing on her legs in the House of Representatives in the Parliament along at Waterfront, she was ridiculing them and even talking about the fact she read out a Trinma audit report that says Roger would have demonstrated great gross negligence when under his supervision, his watch, a co-worker nearly died in a fatal accident and he paid the man $300. It's not me saying that. As she read it from a Trinma report, she said he paid the man $300 to keep it under law, and he lied in front of the investigation. So she's saying that he had no credibility, he had nothing about him, he had no shame, nothing. So to see he's standing out there with their mothers, it's just a continuance of that. And they probably are, they're just the enemy, and the enemy is my friend. But at the same time, what about these fellas' credibility, boy? And they have none. There's nothing about them. And instead of standing up in defense of workers, who they say the government, how we living on crumbs, are they living in luxury? Them fellas living in luxury too. Them fellas living nice, eating nice off our members' money. They have become what they have reviled once. They have become that now. During the height of COVID-19, they didn't give the members nothing. Ask Mr. Roger what happened to the pension plan of the OWTU workers. Ask him what is the state of the financial affairs of OWTU. Ask him who is their financiers. Ask him if they're still only building. Those are the things to ask. So them looking desperate, and they're looking, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as Ms. David has always said, has emasculated them men and them. Them standing up there, them is not man. Them is mannequin. You see, she ridicule them a mannequin. Them have become mannequin now. And it's a shame, because unions are very important still. But these cropper leaders that have there, these old increpid men who come in the world in diaper, like they want to leave the union in pampers, ain't bringing nothing new to the table, no progressive thought. And if members who are workers at ending now, workers, public officers and others, in our quest to get what is owed to us, if we are going to follow the foolishness of Rocher and men like them, and that asking for the government to take borrow the money from the IMF, think what happened under NAR time. See what happened. Let them go to the table and ask for other benefits that could bring us up to the percentage you're looking for. We need houses, we need loans pay off, we need a lot of things. That could be a creative part. It's not just money in the hand. Only, don't take. The second only is Pastor Google. Thank you as usual for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Very much.
Go away, rock so. Rock away, and I rock so, rock so, rock so. Go away, rock so. Rock away, rock away. Go away, rock so. Rock away, and I rock so, rock so.
I'm going for a break and come back for my last and final hour.
Rock away.
When I come back, I'll take all your calls. So don't touch your dial. Stay right here with me.
I don't understand.
Again, let me thank all my viewers.
Keep it real.
All my viewers on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you very, very much for being with me. Coming back after the break. Don't move from the live.
Is it all right if I give you some Caribbean reggae music? Worship this afternoon. Yeah. Well, everybody just dance with you right now. Yeah. We are to magnify the name of Jesus. Yes. This song goes like this. Watch it. Look. So we stand and lift up our hands. Hey, for the joy of the Lord is my strength. Hey, so we bow down, worship Him now. How great, how awesome is it? Everybody help me say, so we say, Give us some music again, please now. Right now where you are, in your homes, just begin to worship the name of Jesus. Yeah. The song, love, we say, so we say. joy of the Lord is our strength. Yeah, we bow down and worship Him now. How great and awesome is everybody. Help me say, yeah, we stand and lift up our hands. For the joy of the Lord is our strength. Hey, we bow down and worship Him now. How great, how awesome. Say, holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Yeah, the earth is filled with His glory. Say, holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Yeah, the earth is filled with His glory. Say, holy is the Lord, God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. Say, holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Say, the earth is filled with the earth.
Shalom. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohana will be on the street 91.9 FM every Monday from 7:05 p.m. to 8 p.m. bringing you the truth according to the Bible. The ISUPK is a non-profit faith-based community organization that will respond to the plagues that's affecting blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian. We also have programs such as education, both adult and youth, food distribution, rehabilitation, both drug and alcohol, mentoring, counseling, and spiritual support. Remember, tune in every Monday on 91.9 FM, 7:05 p.m. Shalom.
Every Friday, it's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays with MC Duke and Selector Kochi from 6 straight to 9 p.m. blazing all the latest and past soca hits. So remember, make it a line, make it a day, rock and come in, you know. It's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays on the Street 919 FM. Don't know.
If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as Nano Silver, Nano Zinc, Body Light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108.
Join Nicole Huggins for Health and Wealth Lifestyle every Monday from 9:05 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. right here on the Street 919 FM.
Good about that, looking like it real bad.
Are you ready for that boat experience again? The Sea Champion and the Embassy say book with us for that unforgettable boat ride experience. Sea Champion leaving from King's Wharf, San Fernando, and the Embassy leaving from Breakfast Shed, Port of Spain, or Westside Trinidad. For more information, call 399-5959 to 814723 or email us at coralvisiontT@gmail.com. Book now and reserve your cruise.
Hey, that boat, I look like it's on the way.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
You are invited
invited to join Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Check out the Children's Hour Worship Ministry of the Word and the Family Forum every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Law and You every Friday evening from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. All night prayer live on the Street 919 FM, designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He had showeth thee, O main, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with thy God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222. In the name of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly. For further information, call 753-1133 or email us at church668hope@gmail.com.
Share the line. Share the line. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the line. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the line. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the line. The Street 919 FM.
All right, so I want to come back in and say thanks again to those of you who are listening to me on radio. So I don't want to leave out my radio listeners. Thank you very much for staying tuned to the Street 919 FM, and also to my YouTube viewers and my Facebook viewers. You all are really, I really appreciate you all staying with me on the Street 919 FM. Let me go to the phone lines again. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Google.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for playing all the various contributions, right? So if your comment could please. The union is aware of the situation that happened Friday. They gave the document to office holders. It's not that they couldn't join anything like that. So they will make a statement concerning that development. All right. So thanks for flagging that the information and so on, and they are aware of what is happening, and they will make a statement on that.
Don't come off the phone, please. I beg of you. All right. So the reason why I would have done it also, and I appreciate that you would call in and tell me that the unions are aware, because I'll tell you something, Esther. Most people know that I'm a person on the ground in the sense, and I could boast and say I am on the ground because I don't have no vehicle. Mm-hmm. I don't have any vehicle. So when I finish my work, I walk down Maraval Road. I go on Trackbridge Road, stand up, wait for a taxi. Take a taxi, drop out on Frederick Street, or drop out by City Gate or by the water taxi. And people will meet me from time to time, and they would share with me. They would say, Google, something ain't right about that. How could a man, how could a union leader, right, meet with the opposition leader who was instrumental in going to the courts to stop them from acquiring the refinery? Something is now, it doesn't sit well with them at all. They're not happy about it. They feel as though it's only because you are in a place where, because Ms. Bissessa is saying that she's coming out. I can play it back. She said that she's coming out to protest with them. And there are some people saying that they don't want any part of that. And let me tell you.
Sorry, go ahead.
And my thing is, while I understand that they pass a motion of no confidence, right? And I would have done my research on that. Really and truly, let's be honest. That motion of no confidence that the union passed against the government or the prime minister, in our constitution, it holds no water. It doesn't hold any water at all, right? What people are saying, and they prefer, and they would rather the unions do is to lobby and protest for housing for the workers, for land for the workers, for bonds for the workers, open back up the NIF program so that they can invest in the NIF program. All these things people are lobbying and begging that the unions would do things differently so that they can personally benefit now or leave a legacy for their children. Giving an opposition leader no confidence vote is not going to help me get my house.
Yeah, I understand but on the Labor Day speech that Roger did, he say he don't want any position from any government because he want to be able to criticize them whenever they do anything wrong. So he don't want no position. He say he dealt with Kamala back then, or we dealing with the certain situations with Dr. Rowley and the concerns of the nation and all that.
Yeah.
So the meeting that is so Friday by their office holders, they are about dealing with the country and office holders. So by right, you have to give the office holders the document or what have you. But it appears though, because there were other people who was there who were on a different mission.
Yes.
Was shouting Kamala and all that. So that is what was flagged, but that was not there. But Roger wasn't there about that. He was there about certain that situation. And concerning also, I talking about this concerning the refinery. It appears that the refinery was they had the money for the refinery and everything else, but the goalposts keep moving all the time, and stuff like that. So that will need to be dealt with also fairly and so on. Because we just said that apart from that, they say that when they get the refinery, right, that they will open it up to Trinidad and Tobago citizens to buy shares into the company and become owners of $1 billion industry. So they have things in plan too in terms of developing the country and assisting whoever it is to develop the country and so on. So that is how I needed to call in and thank you for flagging all the different sides and all that.
Yeah, man.
So I could at least come in and try to put some kind of perspective and hopefully they will address the situation that is taking place now. And he knows that now start out on that like that. He's aware and he's conscious of what happened.
And let me tell you, thanks. No, what? And before you go, I want to appreciate you and I want to acknowledge and say to you, thanks a lot for calling in so that my listeners, and not just my listeners, but people who listen all over the world will be aware that the unions have flagged the response of the people where people are watching it and having questions about the move that is being made. Thanks again, man. I appreciate your call.
Google, before you leave, something important. I was on the ground there too, and some people who met with Kamala before in the past and was disappointed when they saw her come out. They came inside, they came inside the square. They didn't want to be a part of that at all. So it had that happening too, but you had to be there to experience that and to hear the conversation and to see what's happening.
Thank you very much.
All right?
Appreciate your call.
You're welcome, man.
Thanks again. Don't be a stranger to the program.
I always listen.
Thank you.
All right,
yeah, man. And that's what we're talking about. That is constructive talk. Let me take you to this clip. Needed to listen to this. Because I've been in a case,
President General of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, Ansel Roche, has accused opposition leader Kamala Bissau of dealing a fatal blow to the acquisition process of the Guaracara refinery. Mr. Roche held a news conference on Thursday to respond to the allegations made by the opposition leader earlier this week. Karen Kuzier-Philip has more.
That what was peddled then, what was peddled during the election campaign in their support for denying us that, and what was peddled on Monday night is lies, lies, and more lies. Lie, lie, lie. And therefore, we want to this afternoon condemn in the strongest possible term, outright, all of those assertions made by the honorable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Roger says he has no problem with opposition leader Kamala Bissau requesting information or dispensing information on the deal between Patriotic Energies and the government for the purchase of the Pointe-à-Pierre refinery. However, it must be accurate. He believes the opposition leader's motive was to see the cancellation of the process.
That the honorable leader of the opposition had one thing and one thing on her mind, and that is to cause great injury and harm, I dare say, an attempt to deal a fatal blow to the acquisition process and to ensure that that process does not see the light of day.
Mr. Roger also assures there's no underhand deal involving Trafigura Incorporated, a company he says did business with Petrotrin back in 2014 when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa was the Prime Minister.
And to try to portray OWTU as in some scandal and some bacchanal and some sort of collusion with this notorious company Trafigura and so on. We think that that's most outrageous and reckless and irresponsible on the part of the honorable leader of opposition.
And he says the intention was always to purchase Paria Fuel Company along with the refinery, as it makes more economical sense to own both the port and the refinery. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley refuted the claims made by Mrs. Prasad Bisesa and accused her of putting the sale of the refinery in jeopardy. Karen Kozia-Phillip, TTT News.
Bang your belly. I don't understand why you can't keep it real with the black man. Keep it real.
So I just playing the clips, eh? That is all I doing, playing the clips. Hello, good afternoon.
Mr. Google.
You all right, sir? Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir.
How are you, sir?
Not too bad at all. And good afternoon to the listeners and callers of 91.9. Pastor Google.
Uh-huh.
I want to explain this to you and the listening public. People must try and remember when it was first announced in the Parliament by the Minister of Finance, who was the preferred bidder. Yes? Remember what was also discussed. The first initial thing that was discussed was that they were going to pay $700 million US for the refinery over a period of 10 years, and they were going to be given a 3-year moratorium so that they could begin to do the repairs and so on and that sort of thing. And they had to to present certain things to the company. The company was Petrotrin Holdings Limited, which was working for and on behalf of the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now let me explain something to you on your last caller. You know why that was done initially? And it took some time? Because even though I say, okay, Pastor Google, you are the preferred bidder, we don't just meet tomorrow and sign on the dotted line. There are little intricacies to be discussed to get the wording correct and exactly what it is you want the bid on and what it is you are going to do down the road once the refinery is up and running. Look, up to now, since we heard Content is the preferred bidder, has anything been signed? No. There are certain things that have to be ticked off first before that final conclusion. Yes, you don't just come and say, okay, that is the preferred bidder and that's it. Then when who said that Content wins? There are certain issues that need to be discussed to be clarified in the agreement before you sign off. So when Comrade Roger was saying that the government moving the goalpost, they weren't moving the goalpost. He has to understand in business like that type of business, there are intricacies. You understand? The government had to ensure, because as the government said in the beginning, we don't want no more part of the working no refinery. So in other words, the preferred bidder had to come up with the money. They have to come up with where they're getting the oil from to keep the refinery running. Are they going to modernize the refinery? We're talking about a green space by 2030 with respect to the emissions and a number of other things that needed to be clarified and discussed, and whether or not, most importantly, that included Paria. A lot of things needed to be discussed. They could not meet those requirements. They were given a second chance. when Dr. Rowley instructed Franklin Kennedy to go back to the table and revisit the RFP and see whether or not an agreement could have been reached. And then eventually what happened was when the Minister of Finance came for the third time and said, listen, this is the final thing here. This is what we're going to do. Right? Give us $500 million, one-off payment, and take the refinery. And that's it. You remember that? That is what was done. That was the final payment. And even then, they could not come up because they keep saying they have the money, but as the last caller said, but where was the empirical evidence? Who was the partner? Who was the banker? Do we have that information, or we have a word of mouth? Do we have anything in writing? No, we don't. You understand? And all of these things, I am almost certain that the Minister of Finance would have needed in black and white before he could have signed off on the agreement, on the sale. He did not have it. You can't sign off on something as big as this just like that and put it in the hands of people, you understand, who may not have had that type of level, that high level of negotiations at that point. It's not a 2x4 little piece of land you're selling. This is a refinery. I'm going to deal with foreign exchange and so on. And I agree with Comrade Roger in that once you sell it locally, yes, a lot of the foreign exchange will stay in the hands of Trinidad and Tobago rather than having somebody from the outside purchasing it. But at the end of the day, if you cannot meet the requirements, how could I sell it to you? And on top of that, Kamla Prasad, the Cesar, never wanted the OWTU to get the refinery. So when she come today, I want to knock elbow with Roger. Who is she fooling? She's not fooling me, and Roger's not fooling me either. Because you played the clip about the mannequin thing in Woodford Square and had him like a little fool all over the place. You come back now to say you're gonna knock, and don't worry, we go work together. Work together for who and for what? She never wanted you in the first place. She had somebody with plenty more money than Roger in Jack Warner. And look at what you do, Jack. Look at what you do, Gypsy. So who is you who will have no money? Who is you who coming to beg now to get a refinery? You coming like a little beggar and expect to get a refinery? Who is fooling who, Pastor Google?
I know now.
Pastor, let me tell you what this is about. This is about getting back into power.
Yep.
To help her friends.
Yep.
Who have court matter. Look at what happened with the 20-year-old court matter. What did the law lord say? Political interference.
Yeah.
Well, those are my words.
Yeah. Well, I want to go there. I want to stay with what we're talking about.
I know, but I'm giving you the example of how she thinks. She's not concerned about giving Rosie anything, to what benefit of that is hers.
All right. I have a caller holding there.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
Looking at the matters at hand at this present time, I'm highly very disappointed
in
a man by the name of Mr. Roger.
Why?
I tell you something. The trade union movement is an integral part of Trinidad and Tobago. But I honestly think that Uriah Buzz Butler is standing in his grave. When you look at people like Roger, who have literally embarrassed the trade union movement in Trinidad and Tobago, a character like that has shown himself more than once to be easily bought and sold by any political party that has the right price. And he's an embarrassment to the trade union movement because he does not have the testicular fortitude to negotiate on behalf of the trade union movement, to come up with an academic, visionary proposal that could have been made them successful in the bid to run the oil refinery. If you cannot come up with something like that, definitely you are total failure And Mr. Rosa has been playing games. 1 minute, he back in the opposition. 1 minute, he back in the government. So my question at this time is, whose side is he on? You remember Judas? He betrayed Jesus for 7 pieces of silver. I have no respect for people like that. And I hope that very soon he will do the honorable thing and resign from the OWTU and find himself in some political cemetery, not in Trinidad and Tobago, but some other part of the globe where he cannot be found. He's a total failure. I rest my case.
All right.
Real with the black man. Keep it real.
All right. You're passionate, boy. Hello, good afternoon. You have to talk up. I'm not hearing you.
Good afternoon, sir. You hear me now?
I hear you a little better.
Right. Dear comrades, Pastor Google, the clipping you played earlier today, dear comrades.
Who are comrades?
Yeah?
Who are comrades?
The opposition and Rosa and all of them, they are comrades.
Okay.
Because they're fighting something, all of them against.
Okay.
And scaffold. After a time, they will just drop off. If you was showing you now.
Okay.
So they put on and they drop off anytime they want.
Okay.
But I'll this to Mr. Rose and they play the clip. It was 2 years moratorium and 10 years to pay. And was 700 million. The government put to 500 million and it still could not pay Mr. Rose. James. And this is one thing I know. You take bread out of man's mouth in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Rose. You take bread out of workers' mouth. The dog take the rig and go. We build the first rig, the Junior Park. And you, for a few dollars more, let all those workers in a sense. And right now, as I always say, the unions could do in Trinidad and Tobago demonstrate protest and march for better working conditions, negotiations, for workers, and if you was actually no business head.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I listen to the union leader, Pastor Google.
Right. Tell me.
He's a total failure.
Why are you saying that?
What do you mean why I'm saying that?
Because let me tell you why.
Pastor Google,
yes, sir. Sorry.
I am old school.
All right. Sorry.
I am old school, and I wrong some years now.
Right.
This year I'm going to be 69.
Ooh.
So these guys, they can't fool me. They ain't get me to mash up my shoes on the street, pong in the street. They need new ideas. I said that, and I said the last time I said Butler must be turning in his grave. Trust me. Right? And what I see this union leader do, you don't ever vomit and lap up your vomit. He's a total failure.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's difficult for me as a Trinidadian to see a man put drag a mannequin. Describe this lady. Even where she tried to make them questioning how they get in petition. And you know, a man called it just now to defend the union when they're on a separate mission.
Because he's saying, and let's be honest, there are people who were there, and you might know, there are people who were there who had their own agenda, who have nothing to do with the unions, like the ground report. They have nothing to do with the union, and that is why the caller would have called in and said that the President General, Mr. Ansel Uche, is going to make a statement, because he also said to me, and I want to thank him, because he also pointed out that when there were people who were bawling, Rowley must go, people walked away and went back in Woodford Square and saying they don't want any part of that.
All right. So here's my point now, Pastor. Roger was on Robert Amar's station, if I'm not mistaken. Robert Amar invited and told that man that this is what is going to happen wrong the Savannah by the President House. We go in there with them, and everybody going with Roger to give a letter of no confidence motion in the Prime Minister.
Right.
So if you have known that, and you today want to disassociate yourself, that's what happened. From the time these people invited you to go along, or you invite them, they didn't come there by themselves.
Okay, so wait, just now. No, you are bringing another perspective to this that you're rushing. Let me put it in proper perspective. We had 319 people listening. Let us give them it chronologically and proper. So you are saying to me, right, that Mr. Ansel Roger, the President General of the OWTU, was aware that the march would have turned into a Rowley must go march?
Yes, sir.
I would have evidence. I need, listen to me.
Because last Tuesday, he was on Robert Station sometime.
I need to get that, because the caller before would have disputed that and say, here what?
So these people, listen to me, Pastor Google. So my ticket and William just wake up Friday morning and just put on the suit and go down by the President House, and I was able to pull all these people. I passed on Friday. No, this was advertised that we going by the President House to the Union to give a no confidence motion to against the Prime Minister. Isn't the opposition leader singing the same song, Pastor Google?
Yeah, well, I am now hearing the opposition.
All right, so come on now, man.
No, well, remember, we have to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt, the man has a petrochemical banker. The man has a petrochemical banker.
Oh,
and because of that,
gosh. Hey.
And because of that, he is using this. And you know what it is? He is, on Friday, she come out to receive it. And think about it. Friday, she was proud to come out to receive a no confidence motion in the Prime Minister. And why? To show the disenchantment of the population. My TK and Andy Williams come with their crew. And he brought along his crew. And that crew is mainly of what race? You understand how logic, Pastor Google?
I hear you.
To try to support the opposition that they are going on. I have the support of the African vote. I have the support of the African vote. You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
So you understand, if you understand what they're trying to do, they're trying to convince this lady that we are going on. The 29 seats that we had, even though we don't have the people's partnership, but I could get the support of the people to vote for it.
Whoa.
And the union is trying that.
Okay.
With the help of Michael and Andy Williams.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
So that man down all day, then you rock over that.
Okay. Don't rough up my caller. I still want him to be a part of the program. I still want him to be listening. I don't want you to rough him up to make him feel as though he's not don't have a say. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for telling me not to rough him up.
Oh man. I tried to defend you, but come, tell me something yet. Come, save your union. Save your union, brother. It is so good. Talk to me.
Yeah. Well, here what? Well, everybody know there was a no confidence motion against the Prime Minister and so, right? So obviously the ground report will be also supporting that. But as I say, on principle, you have to give the no confidence motion to office holders. They give the president, and obviously we'll have to give Kamala Prasad because she's our office holder. She's the opposition, and I think they give it to somebody else too. That is our office holder and so forth. So by right, They have to do that, even though, you know. So what I'm saying is that when Kamala came out and so there were certain individuals, when they felt uncomfortable and they went back inside, right? I won't call their names or whatever because they had bad experiences with Kamala Persad before, and she admitted that she made some mistakes. You understand? But it is what it is. I mean, he had was to meet, he had was to discuss, and sometimes what you see is not, it may seemingly look like the other thing, you know. Sometimes when you see it, it will look like that, but you have to be there in the environment to hear what is going on and to experience it. So I'm telling people, let not your heart be troubled. Have confidence that Mr. Roger will address this matter because he's being told by many people what's happening and so on. Right? And unfortunately, that narrative has been flagged with the wrong report or whatever. Yeah, there's a totally no confidence motion on against, but we there on a mission to deal with that certain things like we discussed before. And as I said, I was there when there was when the union was marching and so on when they was marching before the refinery to close down, and at that time when they was to gather at Arangwell Savannah, and the government called and said they can't have there again. I know who came to the rescue, Google? A Hindu temple near to the Savannah. So we just slept in a Hindu temple, and that is how they get to come down the next day, the final day, and that's why they didn't have so much of people because they couldn't stay in the Savannah again. You see, you had to be there, you know. You had to be there to know what's happening, right? And in terms of that development. But they sincerely, I could tell you, they sincerely was trying to get this refinery, sincerely, and the goalposts keep moving. Okay, let me give you an example. During the election time, Dr. Robbie say they have the best proposal, they have the best and best, and they say, and then the finance minister say, no, you government could do that for you now before, no, right? And they have the best. Okay, it's the same proposal that you have in your hand, and the government appointed committee gave you that information, right? They made a national declaration that is the best, and the right to sign. Before he was going to sign, after the election, he said he will sign, and after the election, the same document you have in your hand, it collapsed just so. How could it be the same document that they made a declaration, say that good, and we go sign it up, and you sign up, and it just collapsed after the elections. And people, many citizens in this country, they're concerned, they grieve about that situation having been properly explained, and they just can't understand about what happened there. You understand? So there's a lot of stuff that people are concerned about, that has to be raised and has to be addressed or nullified. So that's what I'm calling to let you know.
All right, thank you very much, caller.
Okay, man.
All right, man. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. And I listened to the discussion, and I want you to remember after the victory speech for the internal election, the goodly lady, Cicera, said that she is now open for any thing. So if you was UNC, why can't you fight by yourself? You know, saying that, all right, I was re-elected as political leader, and I am now open for anybody who is willing to join with me to form the government, and then she will do them just like what she did, Gypsy and all of them. She will do them the same. All she needs to do is get any and everybody to get together with her to get back that position as Prime Minister. And that is all Shushila is about. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right, continue to take your calls, 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, 771-1791. Taking your calls and hear from you. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, I just want to, as you're saying, let us connect the dots and stuff. It has always said that, right? Who was standing with Roger and them on Midi? Wasn't it Robert Amaru who was on the platform speaking? Wasn't it Rio Titi with the Indian lady who would be saying all kind of racial thing against people of Africa? And he said, wasn't it the David Welshella? So how come it is, I hear the comrade speak and poor thing, probably he just knowing that side. But look at the other side of it. in my opinion, based on that was a collaboration with Robert Amar based on Mayday. So they may want to disassociate with the things that's happening, but we seeing what is happening there, and while they may have walked back in the Woodford Square because they weren't comfortable, whatever, them is not the leaders of OWTU. The spotlight is not on them who walk back in. The spotlight is on Roger, a man who OWTU and MSJ would have all of them signed the Pfizer Accord, and MSJ had to pull away themselves very quickly, saying that was a farce. You hear Roger saying that Kamala say that when they get back in office that they go get the refinery, and he's saying don't believe that I just talk. We hear all these things, and then we see her coming. Yes, he's saying office holder to come and collect it, so nobody else couldn't come and collect it. Khadija Amin or some other person, it has to be the opposition leader, and then he ground, come now man, brother, I hear you. I empathize with you because you always are good fighters in any organization, and you keep fighting, so. But your leader can't only on a wrong path and trying to cover, it ain't going to help you. Go just make it look as if you're making excuses. That was a plan thing. That's all I have to say, Pastor Google, based on what I see from Mayday. Bye.
Very interesting.
Just to pull you down, they will set you up. That's right, for you to lose your ground.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, according to Mr. Bartaria, on the underground report, they were promoting that match as to come out and support the ground report in protesting. And also, next is why couldn't they have delivered that petition at the office of the opposition leader? Why it is there, knowing that they will be filled with anti-government?
Yeah, only that easy, only a real investigator, though.
That check it out after Google.
I hear you. Only, let me tell you something. One thing I have to say about the listeners of the Street 99 FM, you all as investigate all your matters, but they don't take the thing just over. Thank you.
Pastor Google, you have a good day.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Is it Pastor Google?
Yes, it is.
I listen to your program and I noticed you like to do a lot of research.
What?
You do a lot of research.
Uh-huh.
Could you research for me, you know a group called the Round Table? Remember that name?
Yes.
You know all the members of the Round Table?
Yes, could me who?
No.
Wait.
The Round Table was the union and the opposition. And they had some other question them afterwards. You know who formed the Round Table? David Abdullah. Yeah. The opposition was part in 2015 part of the Round Table.
Okay.
So what happened now? The opposition, the PNM could go with the union, but the opposition can go in the union. That's hypocrisy, man. Research the Round Table and talk to the members of the Round Table. And David Abdullah say he formed the Round Table. At the time, the Round Table was a big thing. You all agreed it. No,
but
the opposition. Just
now, caller, just now.
Yeah.
The Round Table that you're talking about, if I recall correctly, that was under when Ms. Vicessa was Prime Minister and Dr. Rowley was opposition leader.
Correct.
And on that Round Table, you had Kurt Mehu, you had what's his name? Philip Alexander, you had Dr. Rowley, you had Ansel Rouge, you have all of them who are part of the Round Table.
Correct.
So
what's the problem now?
The problem now, sir,
the
problem now, sir, that people are having is that how could you meet with somebody that you self said wanted would have filed an injunction to stop you from getting the refinery?
Well, you know, join politics or what? You know in politics? I'm in politics long time. This is politics. You know, join that. You surprised at that?
So it
the opposition does that all the time. In the Round Table, they beat Section 34. The opposition uses it versus the right. They use it a big Section 34. David Abdullah say he's a fella from the Round Table, and he's a fella never established with the PNM. He caused the PNM years there, and he went back with them with the Round Table. He caused the PNM years back, and he went on with them with the Round Table. So what is the fun?
So it good now because it was
Listen,
good then. It good now.
Listen, you don't know politics. Learn politics.
Okay.
You don't know.
All
Right? Aye, brother. Right.
Learn politics, Google. You're too naive. I don't mind, you know. I don't mind you calling and schooling me. I enjoyed this program today, though. That's why I'm playing this song. See why I'm playing this song? This song is so appropriate to what you just said, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Pastor. So what point what are you trying to say?
You're trying to say that Roland leave Ms. Bissessa and the UNC and the unions alone because the unions did the same thing when Dr. Rowley was opposition leader. The unions and they would have met with him about on a wrong table. So what is wrong with the unions meeting with Ms. Bissessa now to give her a vote of no confidence?
Two different things. First, the Prime Minister didn't meet at a round table with a no confidence motion in camera. I told them this is the most, up to this morning, yes, I listened to one of the most top talk show East Indian radio program in the morning. So I know what mother is about, so I tune in now. And I hear a man call and said, you know, when the man went for the baby, I ain't calling no name. You know how he described it? He described his sexual orientation. So I ain't going to say no more. Right? Because this is intelligent talk. So who understand what I'm saying can understand. It's an East Indian radio station with East Indian callers supporting a UNC. And a man called to say, yo, we have to get rid of it. Get ready to tell me. We put up sobers against the former Attorney General, Iwer. That ain't no good. We put up Jolene John in Arima. And yeah, Dr. What's his name? Dr. Surin, I think it's Surin, but I'm telling me. Because remember, she was a court at one time. Yeah, we tell me, you can't get people goodies and all kind of things and expect them people to turn around and when they're done, they go vote for you. You understand what I'm telling you, Pastor Google? So this thing here was premeditated by
listen to me, right? I hear you. I know you wouldn't come on the radio to spread propaganda, but you know what I want to get? I want to get the recording with Mr. Roche, with Mr. Amar. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to.
You can get them on Facebook.
All right. I would try.
They think that they propagate. I don't think they want to do on Facebook because of the conversation that they have.
Oh, so they don't think they have it recorded then? It's not on social media?
No, because they can't go on social media because of the things that they say.
Wait, that's not true. That's not true. I have a recording with them on social media saying something that I believe Tat should be looking into.
Right, because
but let me leave that day.
All right, let's leave that day. Enjoy the rest of the day, my brother.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Pastor Google, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Listen to me, Roger and them to the seat full. Is the seat will have them as they are. But let me ask you a question, please. I want to talk to you off air.
You want to talk to me off air? You sure you want to talk to this little boy off air, Mums?
No, listen to me. Something I want to find out from you.
Okay. Something good or bad?
Good. It's something good. I want to find out about the Lviv.
Oh, all right. I take you down your number now. So as soon as I come off the air, I will try and give you a buzz, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. So you enjoy your day?
You too. And get home safe, eh?
I will try my best to, Mommy.
All right.
All right, then. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Yes.
So rock, so go away, rock, so rock away, rock away, rock, so rock away, rock, so go away, rock, so rock away. They will tell you they love you, but they lie. Let me tell you about got you friendly me. Don't pretend to
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Pastor Google. Good afternoon. How are you? That me in a good mood. That me in a good mood.
Oh my goodness.
So Pastor Google.
Yes, sir.
So I go and explain Mr. Roach, please. You must put a handle to people's name, eh?
Who, me?
No, I talk about me. I love to put a handle to people's name. Just like Kamala, Cecilia, Bissessa. I love to put a handle to people's name. But Roger and them just remind me of a dog was vomiting on the ground and licking it back up. That's what Roger and them just remind me of. Because Roger is telling me, he is saying down with the opposition leader. Remember with that next one say, Makanda Daga? You have never seen Tiffin like that before? Eh? Roger is telling me he is sitting down with Kamala the sister to bring a no confidence vote against Dr. Rowley. He had to be the biggest joker I ever had. You understand? And the union workers should get somebody who's better to represent them. And pull with these jokers them from out of the pack of the card. Because they don't ever play card with the jokers in the pack. You understand? These fellas are sick in the brain. Sit down with the CPO and work on the people and think to get up of a price. Say people are yes, they deserve a price. They deserve something, say, and everybody agree to that. But the only way to happen, Pastor Google, is if you sit down with the CPO, you know. But what Roger and them is doing is playing politics. And at the end of the day, they still have to go back and sit down with the CPO at the end of the day to work on a price to come up with a fixed amount that the workers them can get. Just like when they mash up the steel company and the steel company when the union was pressuring the steel company, they pack up the bags, file for bankruptcy, and they run out and leave the people and they get nothing. And that's what people do understand with union. Union will set you up in a Pastor Google.
Well, not all.
They can set you up very, very bad and they can make you end up with something. Remember Watson joke? All you sing and dance, you're singing and dance, and then you come and sign up for how much? 5%?
Yep.
People have to remember these things. Don't let these fellas and play all for no fool, you know. They're supposed to go to the table, sit down and work on all the things. All of these them all that want to know. But they will play politics with all that. And all them marching and getting on with all kind of things. And then they still have to go back to the CPO.
Right.
So them playing games. Them know at the end of the day, Dr. Rowley is not the person who does it down with you. And the union had to remember at the end of the day, the government is there to secure the business of the people at Trinidad and Tobago.
Right, thank you very much.
And if they do not do that, and we end up in financial problem, we'll end up in the IMF hand. And then nobody can get paid.
I hear you. Thank you
Have
very
a
much.
blessed day.
Thank you very much, caller. I really want to play some voice notes. I don't know if I can. I don't know. Yes, there's a caller holding here. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Pastor Google.
Yes, caller. You're on the air?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to find out who sang the song at the Calypso Building Character.
Oh, that is Mr. Sean Daniel.
Sean Daniel?
Yeah.
His voice song different way. Must be style. Okay. So let me move on now.
Okay. You like
Remember
it?
that Robert Amar was holding some post in the UNC. Eh?
I don't know. I don't know that.
Yes, she was.
Caller? Caller? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Manu?
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
And to all the listeners. Very good conclusion, very good program today. But what I say, I know a fellow with a farm. Listen to me carefully. I ain't telling nobody to do nothing, no violence. I know a fellow with a farm on the Southern Main Road. Have some what me exit to away.
Hey, don't encourage that.
No, I ain't going to do nothing violent.
But we buy nothing egg for. Don't even put it in the mind of the people now. Oh gosh, you know they done earmark we already. And they say I encouraging somebody with nothing egg.
I just buying the egg and them.
All right. Well, you keep the egg and them home, eh?
I'm boiling them.
All right then.
I love to play on the bagel.
Okay, Manu. Love to you too. Lord, Manu come to talk about rotten egg. Manu, leave me alone with that now, please. Spare me, eh? Spare me with the rotten egg. All right, Trinidad Tobago. Whoosh. That's the time already? Gosh, look at the phone lines. People, I have to go. All right? I have to go. I have to I have to make my way out of Paula's Plain early today to make sure that I get home safe. What's going on outside there? Let me see what's going on outside there. How outside looking? Leadership gone through. The police in a how outside looking? Miss Thomas is out there? Miss Thomas out there? Can I see her a minute, please? But tell me, what are our social values? Look at voice notes. I am so embarrassed. Mr. Bago, I'm sorry. My friend from Maruga, I'm sorry. A partner who say Rowley must go, I'm sorry. All the voice noters, I am very sorry I didn't get a chance to play your voice notes. Things that men can steal, but no one takes the time, no time to build character. But I have to leave the studio right now. I'm sorry, the clock is counting now on me. So I am seeing your calls, but I cannot take them because time is gone. So the caller wanted to know who sang this song. This is Sean Daniel, and this is, I believe, his first album, Divine Soca. Let me tell you this, when the first time I got to know this song was when I went to England. I didn't even know this song. You know, I got to know this song is when I went to England, and I went to a church in Hackney, a big church. The name of the church is the Wrong Chapel. It's big, huge. It could hold about 15,000 persons. And the bishop of the church was singing this song word for word. He never met Sean Daniel. He don't know who Sean Daniel was. But when the bishop heard this song, he was like, yeah, boy. And he was singing it word for word. So I'm going to leave you with this song, Trinidad Tobago. Have a blessed one. Please be safe on the nation's roads. Coming up next is Iwer and our show with Miss Vanessa Thomas and Mr. Robert Putis.
We hang our heads in shame. We ask who to blame for this morass of moral decay. Leadership gone through, the police in a stew.